Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and today I'd like to talk about the 2006 Chicago Bears. That was a great team, it really was. I was 18 years old at the time, and I was a freshman at UIC, and as of now, it's the only Bears team in my lifetime that's made it to the Super Bowl. I was born 2 years after Super Bowl 20, so I'm mad that I missed that. I really am. I wish I was older, but whatever. When they made it in 2006, it was nice. It really was. They went 13-3 that year, and their defense was really good. The offense was good too, but the defense was really good. And I have some statistics from that season. They're from ProFootballReference.com. In that season, the Bears scored 427 points. It was second in the NFL, and they allowed 255 points, which was the third best in the NFL. And the first game of the year was great. They shut out the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, 26-0. It was the first time in Brett Favre's career that he had ever been shut out in a game. That was unbelievable. And a lot of the early games were blowout wins. We beat Detroit in Week 2, 34-7. Week 4, we beat Seattle, 37-6. It was a Sunday night game. I remember watching the game. It was really exciting. A week later, we beat Buffalo 40-7, and at that point, our offense was really good. Grossman was playing really well, Rex Grossman, and his success, unfortunately, would be short-lived. A week later, we played that infamous Monday night game against Arizona. We beat the Cardinals 24-23, but Rex Grossman, he played really poorly in that game. He had 6 turnovers in that game. 6. Yes, that's insane. He had 4 interceptions and 2 fumbles as well. He played really poorly, but we still won. It's unbelievable. And who could forget Arizona's coach, Dennis Green, his infamous press conference where he was going, "The Bears are who we thought they were. That's why we took the damn field. Now if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we got them off the hook." He went insane. It was hilarious. It's just one of the best post-game press conference rants from any head coach in any sport. It was really funny. Then the Bears were off the following week. Oh, and in Week 3, I forgot to mention, they beat Minnesota 19-16. Grossman had a last-second touchdown pass to, I want to say it was Rasheed Davis. That was an exciting game. It really was. You know, beating the Vikings in the Metrodome is something we've always had a hard time doing, but we pulled it off that week. It was really nice. And a week later, we played the 49ers. We destroyed the 49ers 41-10. That was back when the Niners sucked, though. I mean, the Niners were really bad at the time, and the information's here. Hang on. In Week 9, we lost our first game. It was against Miami. Miami was bad back then. Their quarterback was Joey Harrington. Yes, Joey Harrington. We lost that game 31-13. And it's ironic that our first loss in 85, our only loss in 85 actually, and our first loss in 06, they both came against Miami. But the game in 85 was in Miami, and the game in 06 was actually in Chicago. And Week 10, we beat the Giants in New York 38-20. It was a Sunday night game. And then a week later, we played the Jets in New York, and we shut them out 10-0. And the following week, we played at New England, and we lost that game 17-13. We were in that game all the way. We just couldn't pull through, and we lost. Week 13, we played Minnesota, and we beat them 23-13. Week 14, we beat the Rams on Monday Night Football 42-27. And Devin Hester had 2 return touchdowns in that game, a kick return and a punt return. Hester was phenomenal that year, but that was definitely his best game. Week 15, we beat the Buccaneers in overtime at home, 34-31. Week 16, we beat the Lions, but barely. We beat them 26-21. In Week 17, it was a Sunday night game against Green Bay, and the Packers destroyed us that night, 26-7. Grossman played really poorly in that game. His rating was 0.0, and he was awful in that game. But he was eventually, by halftime, he was benched for Brian Greasy, and Greasy was a decent backup, but Grossman did okay that year, I would say, and he wasn't great, but he had his moments, Grossman. In the divisional playoffs, we beat Seattle in overtime, 27-24. In the championship game, we beat the Saints 39-14, and we killed them that day. And in the Super Bowl, we lost to the Colts 29-17, despite the fact that Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. And from that point, I really thought that the Bears were going to win that game. I was convinced. At one point, we led the game 14-9. Then at halftime, the Colts took the lead, and they were up 16-14, and we never trailed from that point on. And Grossman's stats that year, he actually started every game. He's one of the handful of Bears quarterbacks in the last 30 years who's actually started every game in the same year. And he had 23 touchdown passes, but he also had 20 interceptions. 20 interceptions. He threw for 3,193 yards. He completed 262 out of 480 passes for only 54.6%, and his rating was 73.9. So he was okay, maybe slightly above average. It wasn't a good year, but he was okay. He had his moments. The running game was really good that year. Thomas Jones had just over 1,200 yards. Cedric Benson, he was a bust here, but he had a decent year too. He had 647 yards. The receiving game was good. We had Muhsin Muhammad. He had 60 catches for 863 yards. Bernard Berrien had 51 catches for 775 yards. And Desmond Clark, our tight end, he had 45 catches for 626 yards. And in that season, Devin Hester had 5 return touchdowns, 5. 3 punt returns and 2 kick returns. He was phenomenal that year, Hester. He was just amazing. Robbie Gould, he made 32 of 36 kicks for 88.9%. That was his completion percentage. And the defense was solid that year. It was really good. Mark Anderson had 12 sacks that year. He was a rookie, too, and that was the best year he ever had with the Bears. He was never that good after that, but as a rookie, he was phenomenal. Alex Brown had 7 sacks. Adewale Agunlia had 6.5 sacks. And Tommy Harris had 5 sacks. And interceptions, the leader was Ricky Manning. He had 5 interceptions. Peanut Tillman had 5 interceptions as well, and Urlacher had 3, and Nathan Vasher had 3 as well. And it was really an exciting year. I had a lot of fun watching the Bears that year, and I actually have every game from that year on tape. Yes, I taped every game on VHS. I taped every game that year, and I still have every game, and I watch them from time to time because it was really a fun season. It was exciting, and I just wish the Bears had won the Super Bowl that year. If they had a better quarterback, I really think they would have won that game. If you put Jay Cutler in that game, we would have won. You have to blame Cedric Benson, too. He got hurt in that game, and if we had a better running back with Thomas Jones, we would have won. I really think we would have. With a better quarterback and with a good second running back, we would have won that game. But what are you going to do? I'm hoping the Bears will be back in the Super Bowl in the next couple of years. They might make it this year. If not, then maybe in 2014, but we shall see. The offense will be good with a new head coach. We'll have Mark Trestman as our coach, and we'll finally have an offensive-minded coach. And the offense will be good, but the defense is old, so hopefully the offense and the defense will be upgraded by the start of this season. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm sorry for rambling, but I'll be back tomorrow with 2 new videos, and until then, take care.